Hogwarts Legacy 2 isn't just quietly in development anymore, it is officially colliding with the upcoming HBO Harry Potter TV series. Warner Brothers executives are actively having the Avalanche software team coordinate big-picture story elements between the new game and the massive live-action show dropping this Christmas. This completely shatters how everybody assumed they were going to handle the sequel. You aren't just getting another standalone sandbox set in the late 1800s. The plan right now is to deliver a narrative that fits directly into the new television universe. Avalanche has been sitting in complete radio silence for years at this point. They launched the biggest game on the planet, dethroned Call of Duty, and then basically vanished into the shadows. Fans figured the developers were just keeping their heads down to build the next installment. That was partially true. A major internal shift just went down, proving the marketing machine is finally waking up. The studio officially hired a brand new community manager named Cody, known as Wagner Online. On the surface, replacing a guy who left feels like standard corporate housekeeping. Anybody who tracks the video game hype cycle knows you don't bring in a fresh face to run community engagement unless you actually have an announcement ready to go. The teasing has already begun. Over on the Harry Potter game subreddit, one user saw the hiring post and immediately commented that this move means the big reveal is right around the corner. Cody didn't ignore the hype, he fired back, playing incredibly coy, pointing out the obvious and throwing in a thinking emoji. The guy knows exactly what the entire industry is waiting for. Avalanche knows we are watching their every single move. Starting from scratch isn't a problem. This time around, the team already built the castle, locked in the combat loop, and established the core engine. Development has likely been moving significantly faster than the 5 or 6 years it took to build the original foundation. Here is the massive twist that has my mind racing right now. David Haddad confirmed the WB strategy is to sync up Hogwarts Legacy 2 with the HBO series. The television show is kicking off with the Philosopher's Stone. It really makes you wonder if the developers are throwing out our original timeline entirely to put our character in the halls of Hogwarts at the exact same time as a young Tom Riddle. Avalanche Software absolutely crushed the industry with their initial launch. Dethroning Call of Duty as the best-selling title of the year without Rockstar in the mix was an impossible feat, yet they pulled it off. Building that original foundation took a massive 5 to 6 years of grueling work. Nobody should expect that kind of agonizing wait this time around. The development team already has a fully realized castle, a surprisingly deep combat loop, and the core engine ready to roll. 3 years have already passed since the original release, putting us pretty deep into the actual development cycle for the sequel right now. Casual players might have completely missed some serious breadcrumbs hiding in plain sight recently. Hardcore fans meticulously dissected the brand new HBO teaser trailer and spotted something wild. The architectural design of the Great Hall, the specific castle corridors, and even the herbology classroom look nearly identical to the digital environments. Synergy between the two massive projects is clearly happening on a visual scale, proving these teams are sharing their creative assets. Warner Brothers executives are ensuring the video game and the live-action sets match up perfectly. Story-wise, a significant time jump is practically guaranteed at this point. Connecting the new narrative to the first season of the show could mean diving into the overarching lore of the Philosopher's Stone and the mysterious Nicholas Flamel. Things get way more interesting if the game drops right before season 2 of the television series. That specific timeline will obviously tackle the Chamber of Secrets. Our main character already explored the Dark Slytherin Scriptorium and dealt with the unsettling legacy of the Gaunt family alongside Ominis. Laying the groundwork for the television show could mean your character literally experiences the very first opening of the Chamber of Secrets, setting the stage for the Basilisk. While exploring those magical halls alongside absolute legends like Dumbledore would be an insane shift in tone. You wouldn't just be playing a random side quest anymore. Your actions in the video game would directly set up the historical events the live-action actors will eventually face on screen. Warner Brothers executives have been notoriously open about pushing their studios aggressively toward live service models. Forcing constant connectivity or transforming this franchise into a massive MMO would be a catastrophic disaster. Players lose big time if the core narrative gets chopped up and monetized through seasonal battle passes. Single-player premium experiences are exactly what made the original game an absolute juggernaut. Avalanche Software understands that abandoning that formula for live service mumbo-jumbo is a terrifyingly slippery slope. Introducing entirely optional multiplayer features, however, could be a massive win for the community. Imagine jumping into a dedicated dueling club arena to run intense 1v1 or 2v2 matches against your actual friends. Experiencing a true 4-player co-op campaign where you explore the Scottish Highlands together is the absolute dream scenario. Those additions only work if the studio prioritizes building a fully fleshed out solo mode first and foremost. Taking away from the core narrative to focus on multiplayer would instantly kill the vibe. Immersion needs to dominate the development strategy this time around. Quidditch Champions was fun for a minute, but the player base largely moved on and abandoned it. Bringing full-scale Quidditch directly into the mainline sequel is an absolute no-brainer at this point. Adding deep interactive activities like Wizard's Chess and Gobstones would finally make you feel like an actual student just hanging out in the common room. Corporate synergy is about to completely take over your entire social feed. Releasing the video game and the HBO show during the exact same window would totally cannibalize sales. The executives want to maximize the hype train by having both massive projects constantly promote each other. Holding off the actual game release until late 2027 or early 2028 lines up perfectly with the massive marketing push for Season 2 of the live-action series. Your wallet is going to feel the pain when they start aggressively pushing overlapping premium editions and exclusive television cosmetic tie-ins. The studio definitely wins by double-dipping into the same incredibly hyped fanbase, while gamers just have to pray the quality doesn't take a hit. Half the fanbase is absolutely terrified right now. Tying a massive video game directly to a television production schedule is incredibly risky. Gamers have seen this exact scenario play out before, where titles get rushed out the door half-baked just to hit a corporate marketing deadline. The other side of the community is hyped beyond belief, getting to actively play through the exact same lore and historical events while the HBO series airs on TV is an unprecedented level of cross-media synergy. My stance is pretty simple. Avalanche Software struck gold because they delivered a complete, deeply immersive single-player adventure. Shoving forced live service monetization into the sequel just to appease Warner Bros. Executives will completely destroy the magic. Connecting the narrative to the new show is a massive flex, but it only works if the game holds up on its own merits. Nobody wants to play a glorified interactive advertisement for an HBO series. Late 2027 or early 2028 feels like the most realistic launch window if they actually want to polish this massive undertaking properly. Dropping it right alongside the show would be a total disaster for sales, since they would end up cannibalizing each other. Staggering the releases gives both projects room to breathe while maximizing the hype. Avalanche Software is finally breaking free from the shackles of old hardware for this next installment. Building the original title meant they had to make massive compromises to ensure it eventually ran on the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. Leaving those aging consoles behind completely changes the development ceiling. Upgrading the core engine allows the team to push graphical fidelity to an insane new level. You are going to see a drastic reduction in those annoying hidden loading screens every time you try to open a heavy oak door in the castle. Expanding the physical map is the next logical step to justify the massive hype. Exploring the Scottish Highlands was incredible the first time around, but fans are demanding entirely new iconic locations. Unlocking fully explorable areas like Diagon Alley, the Ministry of Magic, or even the grim streets of Nocturne Alley would blow the roof off this sequel. Warner Bros. Knows they cannot just recycle the exact same forest areas and expect players to pay full price. Diving deeper into the dark arts also needs to be a massive priority. The morality system in the first game was incredibly shallow, basically letting you cast unforgivable curses without any real consequences. Giving players actual branching storylines where leaning into dark magic actively changes how professors and students treat you would add so much replay value. Playing as a genuinely evil wizard should lock you out of certain quests and force you down a much darker path. That level of RPG depth combined with next-gen performance is exactly what this franchise needs to stay on top. What specific locations or magical abilities are you guys dying to see added this time around? Drop your thoughts down below because I really want to see your ultimate wishlist for the sequel. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the breakdown. Catch you guys in the next one.